Welcome to Tatooine.
Space. An empire divided. These are the stories of Star Wars Galaxies. A retrospective!
Wow, that sounded super serious and not at all stolen from Jean-Luc Picard's Star Trek intro. Not at all. Today we're going to revisit the launch of Star Wars Galaxies. For those of you who didn't happen to play at launch, this is going to be like your grandfather telling you to hop up on his lap, handing you a Werther's Original, and he's going to tell you stories about his time in Vietnam. Hey Jeffrey, come here. Come here and let your granddaddy tell you a story about Vietnam. And can you bring me my pants? First things first, I loved the game. I loved everything about Star Wars Galaxies, including launch. Second thing second, I was also a stupid child. A stupid child who watched the movie Three Ninjas and then assumed that he could be doing backflips. It didn't work out. I had no frame of reference of MMOs. All I knew is that I was playing Star Wars. And that's what we were doing. We were playing Star Wars. And that's all that they told us that we were doing. Really though, they really gave us no storyline. They didn't tell us what to do at all. Well, that's not true. Actually, they did. And I quote,
It's the height of the galactic civil war. Although the Rebel Alliance has destroyed the dreaded Death Star, the Emperor still holds thousands of systems in his grip. Throughout the galaxy, civil war rages. Innocents and heroes alike are swept into the conflict. The fate of millions shifts with every battle. On a distant Imperial space station, a smaller battle erupts over the fate of a single being's destiny. Yours. It's a trap.
Pan to a confused and scared Trandoshan's face, wondering what he's going to be doing in the galaxy. Because really, they didn't tell you what we should be doing in the galaxy. The only direction that they made was the choice that we made as to where we were going to be started, whether that be Naboo, Corellia, Bastille, or Anchorhead. And by the way, if you started in Anchorhead, you were even more confused than everybody else, because in Anchorhead, there ain't nothing there. Ain't nothing. That's a double negative. If you started in Anchorhead, you were a double negative, because there wasn't anything going on. At least if you started in Bastille, there's a starport and more than 5 NPCs that were not hiding in the lower levels of a bunker. But that's for another story. Not only did we not know what to do, but we are with 50 other people around us who did not know what to do. We were all equally confused. We were a bunch of lobsters thrown into a big bucket. We were pulling each other down, trying to work our way out. Eventually we got out and figured that we had to start doing something, until we figured that we couldn't. All we had was our 2 feet. There was no vehicles implemented in the game yet. We actually had to wait a week before they dropped vehicles in the game. However, we saw vehicles everywhere. We know there's vehicles because they're everywhere, scattered throughout the cities as part of the game art. They're just parked there, don't move. We can't use them, can't hotwire them. The worst thing is we didn't know that we couldn't get them yet, so we were trying to figure out how to use vehicles. We were trying to figure out how to travel. Sounds terrible, right? So guys, what did we do? I don't know, there's a bunch of other people, maybe we can ask them. Well, probably not, because we probably didn't speak Mon Calmarian, we probably didn't speak Wookiee, we probably didn't speak Trandoshan, we probably didn't speak Rodian. No, we had to go up to the other races and ask them to teach us how to speak their languages. But guess what? we didn't know that we had to go up to the other races and ask them how to speak their languages. And by the way, how do you go up and ask another race how to speak their language when we can't speak their language? Hopefully you had some beta bastard who knew from beta what you had to do, and he sent you or sent us or sent any of us in the right direction. That was the thing at launch. If you were able to interact with anyone, or if you were able to run in circles without knowing how to run in circles, you were doing better than me, and you were doing better than most people. And if it sounds all confusing, if this all sounds like a big circle of confusion, a big circle of crazy dialogue, that's what it was. Okay, so we figured out how to talk to people. Now we need to learn how to learn. Sounds confusing, right? Those words? I'm not a master wordsmith. I'm just trying to emulate exactly how confused that we were at the start of the game. So you don't quest in Star Wars Galaxies. Not really, and certainly not at the beginning of the game. Certainly not at launch. You actually learn out of game that you have to learn in game by going out into the world and fighting. You get experience, you level up by fighting. If you have a pistol, you shoot with pistols. You learn from fighting. Now, my mom always told me that smart people don't fight.
Mama's wrong again.
So you start your walkabout, and you go out searching for things that are not going to kill you, which is absolutely nothing. And eventually you go in certain spots of the map that would produce a magic hotspot, a magic bing that would say something along the lines of, "You have found the abandoned hut of old Ben Kenobi. You've earned a badge." Feels good, man. The excitement of finding a place of interest, getting a badge just hooked you. SWG just honeypotted you. Trapped. You're sucked in. Back then, finding places of interest, they weren't innate. They were something that you did not just go to your data pad and say, "Hey, there's the Crate Skeleton Graveyard." No, you had to go and you had to stumble upon them. So when you found them, it felt so good. It was so cool to stumble upon something and earning that place of interest, earning that badge. Unless it was the Sarlacc pit. Then you were dead. But you got a badge. This seems as good a place as any to talk about how huge the world is. It's a true sandbox. And it didn't just look huge, it was huge. And by huge, I mean freaking huge. Well, let me tell you a story about a group of brave young adventurers who heard a story about a place of interest from some other brave young adventurers called Fort Tuscan. Now, they didn't know where exactly it was, but they heard from someone from Johnny SWG that there is a Fort Tuscan somewhere on the northeast part of the map. Sounds like a fun adventure, right? It was. It is. It should have been, but we were a bunch of novice brawlers. I think I was the highest, and I was going up in the pistolier tree. So we were nothing. The distance on a swoop bike, say you're going from Mos Antha, and never mind trying to shuttle into a guild city because there were none of those. So the distance between one of the mosses, wherever that may be, on a swoop bike to Fort Tuscan is, say, what? 4 minutes? Now, when you're walking, a swoop bike is about 30 times faster than your feet. Math, 30 times 4, 120 minutes. Never mind the fact that there are swarms of swarms all around you that are red. Everywhere you have all of these damnable little Nunas who want to nip at your feet. You have warts who are trying to kill you. Never mind the fact that you are losing your friends along the way. Not me, because I'm a pistolier and I can run up the hills much faster. Yes! Didn't know that helped, but it helped. We were like Christopher Columbus in our heads. We were Magellan. We were pathfinding the way. Eventually, all of the group had passed away except for this guy. This guy made it. He came across a magical Fort Tuscan after many times of being incapacitated, running, hiding, everywhere you could be. I somehow came across it all by myself. To my surprise, it was no hidden secret. There was dozens of groups that were up there camping. They were killing all of the Tuscan Raiders. But I didn't care. I just wanted the place of interest badge. And make no mistake, they didn't want me because they were uber beta players and I was just a wee little noob. But I managed to follow them around everywhere where they went through every one of the rooms, went everywhere upstairs, trying to get this magical place that would give me the place of interest badge. After many 30s of minutes, getting frustrated and asking people where are the badge, they say it's underneath in a cave. I managed to convince people to go fight down there, work their way down there, and I followed them behind, and guess what? I get killed meters from where the place of interest badge spawned. There was much laughing, there was much making fun of little wee Snake's Hiss Trandoshan noob who was laying on the floor for about 20 minutes in disbelief. My guitar didn't have a good day. I love that guitar, but we don't speak of the dead. This was episode 1 of Star Wars Galaxies Retrospective series. Now, I giggle and I mock the game a little bit, but this was the greatest MMO of all time. I loved the game. I didn't realize that it had all of these flaws because I didn't know any better. It was fantastic, and from that, it only got better. It was truly amazing, and I always look back, have such great fondness and nostalgia of those moments. Tune in next week for another wacky, nutty, retrospective adventure in the world of... in the galaxy of Star Wars Galaxies. I am Joshua with Weird Gaming Adventure, and I am a scruffy looking nerf herder.